everybody, it's Jo here and I love to read. Today is Thursday morning and I have not been consistent at all, so I've decided to just restart the reading vlog today. I am on the weekend going to be uploading my November now, my October wrap up, which will up-to-date you guys on how my month of reading went instead of just posting the reading vlogs. I've just decided they're too long and a bit whingy, and I know that I had a slump and they can be whingy, but still I am mostly out of my slump now. It was Vampire Academy that got me out of it, but you'll see that in my wrap up. Currently I'm reading Ice Station by Matthew Reilly and I'm up to page 154. This has been great because it's straight into the action, but I'm at a point now where so much action, literally from page 1 to 154 has been action, that I kind of need it to slow down a bit now. Otherwise it's gonna stress me out too much, so I'm hoping that will happen soon. I still haven't really been dedicating a lot of time to reading, so I hope that I'm gonna be coming back to that now, but I've got it in my thoughts a lot more than I have over the past month. It's more of a focus, which should help with that, but also just finding a good book would be helpful for, and I think Ice Station is alright, but I don't know if it's going to be the good book that's going to bring me back into fully fledged reading. I'm also going to be doing an unhaul on the weekend because I just need to, now that I'm down to 18 books, I need to have a look again. I'm going to DNF a series that I didn't think I was going to, but I kind of need to because I'm just feeling so negative about it. And I'm feeling so stressed about being halfway through it that I need to just get rid of it. But I'll link that up here because that should be uploaded by the time I post this fortnightly reading vlog. So I will catch up with you guys next time with hopefully some more updates, maybe towards the end of Ice Station, hopefully.
Hey guys, it's Friday night, Saturday morning technically, so it's like 12:30 a.m. but it's Friday night. I've just spent most of Thursday night, Friday morning, and tonight reading the Thoroughbred book that I was halfway through. I'll insert a picture up here because it's still out in the lounge room. I want to try and get that one done this weekend so that I'm not halfway through something, and it was one of the books that I was feeling a bit negative about as well because I tried to read it to get out of my slump, but it's a bit of a sad one or a downer one, so, but it's fine. I mean, now that I've read like past the first 20 pages, I'm enjoying it, so that's really good. And then I was kind of in a reading mood tonight where I just wanted to keep reading, and I tried to pick up Ice Station, and I don't really care about the characters. I don't really want to be the girl who DNFs or abandons everything, and I don't think that I am. It's just that, again, big TBR, taking on books and just, I don't know, I mean, it's a gamble any time that you pick a book because you may not like it. And this one, I can clearly see why I'm not super enjoying it with certain ways. So the premise of Ice Station is that the American Marine Scientific Station, sorry, not Marines, the American Scientific Station on Antarctica drills down deep enough that they actually find metal under ice that hasn't been disturbed for like 1,000,000 years or something. So everybody's thinking spacecraft, but the French team get onto it straight away, and it has just been non-stop action of like American Marines that have come in to help because the spaceship thing has been killing everybody, but it's them versus like the French because there was a French scientific station close by that came to help, and then they let their government know, and their government sent in their like commandos, and so it's just been 160 pages of full-on warfare and non-stop action, and it sucks because I was enjoying the story and I like the premise, but I feel like it's gone too off track for such a big book. I think it's like 500 pages or something, and I just gotta be honest, I don't know if I'm gonna finish it. I was really looking forward to like an Indiana Jones / Journey to the Center of the Earth / Jurassic Park / Jaws kind of thing. Like, I would really like to read those sort of books, but I don't think this one is hitting any right things for me, and there's been so much action and hardly any getting to know the characters that I just don't care. And now there's been a break in the character, but another one's introduced, and there's already so many, and I'm struggling to find the motivation to read it because I just don't care. So I think what I'm going to do tomorrow morning, or maybe start it a little bit before I go to bed, is actually pick up one of the non-fictions on my shelf, which is An Ordinary Man by, I don't even want to try and pronounce his name at the moment without doing some research for it, but it's a non-fiction, and it's the true story behind Hotel Rwanda. So I'm hoping that this one will be really interesting, it'll be different, and that it'll hopefully enjoy it. I still have faith at the moment that I am out of my slump. Like, I don't feel like I'm in a slump. I just think, again, this is another dud book. So I'm gonna possibly read a bit more of this and then go to sleep, because this is like the latest I've stayed up in ages, and then hopefully tomorrow I will have a better reading day. I'll chat to you guys again later. Bye. Goopy. Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday morning. I might actually end up doing a week of a reading vlog this time, because I am feeling better about reading and booktube and everything like that. And that always has a lot to do on what I'm actually reading and whether I'm enjoying it or not. So I was really trying to push a bit more through Ice Station. I think I did last night actually, where I said that I've started An Ordinary Man, and I'm going to try and pronounce his name. Alright, probably this may be the wrong one, but it's Paul Rusesabagina. I'm sorry. I'm really trying. I've listened to a YouTube video, and I'm just going to have to sit there and say his name like 50 times over until I get it. And I should, because it's not that hard for me to sit there and repeat that YouTube video and then record me saying it so that I can listen to it over and over again so I can understand it. But I'm having a really good time, even though I'm really not that far through, so I'm a bit scared that I'm going to get bored, because it seems like my trend is that I start enjoying the start and then it just doesn't really go anywhere. But I feel like non-fiction, and this non-fiction is the right move for me at the moment reading wise. But I just really wanted to do this like a reading vlog so soon, because I'm having a profound experience. That's what my brain is telling me. But when I was living at home with my parents, probably like late teens, early 20s, even though I'm only mid-20s, but around that kind of period, both my parents do read. My mum is more of a reader than my dad, but that's only because my dad really struggles to find books that he enjoys. And I remember always having these conversations with him, and he is a massive non-fiction reader. He will rarely ever pick up a fiction book, because part of his enjoyment is actually knowing that this has happened. But it can be really hard to find non-fiction books that are interesting, particularly like I remember I used to try and buy these historic ones, and his favorite movie, probably still but for so long, was Braveheart, and like the one with Mel Gibson in. I don't know if there's another Braveheart, but yeah, it was Braveheart, which is based on that Scottish figure, which I can't remember what his name is, and I should know, because if we were doing family movie night, that was like the movie that we would pick, because Dad would pick when it was his turn to pick. And I remember buying him a book about Braveheart, like a historic account, being like, oh, Dad's going to love this present. I've nailed it this year. But the shitty thing was, the author spent so long talking about his research and how he learned about this and that and blah, blah, blah. And Dad's just like, thank you, I know you didn't write the book, so I appreciate the effort. But he was like, I just didn't, because he still wants it phrased as a story, but he just likes knowing that it's true. And I kind of understand more now as I've gotten older, and just, I guess, have tried to actually enjoy non-fiction more. And there are books like this, and one of my other favourite non-fictions that I've read is Wild Swans by, I'm going to butcher her name, I think it's Young Chang. I'm sorry, I will put a clip up here of the book. But I didn't really realise when I was younger that there were books like this out here that were written like a story, like a fiction story, but they were really enjoyable. My vacuum's going to come in. I'm really sorry for the white noise in the background if you hear it, but honestly, the vacuum, this little robot vacuum, best investment ever. If you can spare the cash, go for it. This one only cost about 400 AUD as opposed to like the thousands you can spend, and it's amazing. And I'm just sitting here, and after having such a difficult reading experience recently, and then also wanting to push through Ice Station but not having enough energy to care, and it's not like I really enjoyed Ice Station to begin with because it was full of action and I really needed it, but it's like there's too much action and I don't care about these fictional people. They haven't given me a reason to care. But I know that this has happened and I'm barely like 20 pages in and I'm already so engrossed. I'm starting to tab it up a bit. This one, no, because that tells me what year I bought it. I got it in, which was, I don't know what colour, 2017. But I've started to tab it up because that's how like much it is. Like I want, when I do my wrap up after I've read this book, probably my November wrap up, if I power through it this week, I want to quote you some things because it's amazing. So to begin with, I'll just tell you, like, explain. So and I'm only in the introduction as well. I'm not even in the story. I'm just in the introduction. So this book is about a genocide that happened in the country of Rwanda, and it was against two of their different people that used to be back in the day. It used to be like the ruling class people, and then there was a different name for like the like lower class farmer peasant. And like over time, this like racial hatred has like continued to go through, and they've never really been able to get past it and go forth and stuff. And do understand, even though I don't obviously agree with the genocide, but that's like, that is where the divide has stayed, and they've never been able to move past that and heal and become like one people. And so like over time, as things have gotten a bit more equal, because there's been less of a divide between the farmers and the peasants and the ruling class, the peasants, farmer, stereotypical background people have risen up, and they were just basically attacking anybody that they thought and murdering anybody that they thought was related to the upper class or part of the upper class people. And basically this guy, Paul, he owned a hotel, and he was able to sort of smooth in with the people that were doing all the killing, and he hid all these innocent people upstairs in his hotel for I'm not sure how long it was. What did they say? Like 100, I think it's 100 days. Yeah. He was able to hide some people and save their lives over 100 days. But he sort of talks about, even though it was amazing what he did, it still doesn't really compare. Like it was like a drop in the ocean. And the way that he sort of describes it in his words, and this is the first thing that I wanted to actually highlight and underline and tab, and it says, at the end, the best you can say is that my hotel saved about 4 hours worth of people. Take 4 hours away from 100 days and you have an idea of just how little I was able to accomplish against the grand design. Like, wow. Like, his ability to describe that to you, and it does say that it's with, like, someone else has come through and, like, edited and stuff, but it's amazing. And I'll tell you the other thing that I've tapped as well, because I'm too excited. And he's talking about, I was also able to bargain for the service of 5 Kigali policemen, but I knew these men were like a wall of tissue paper standing between us and a flash flood. Like, the imagery, man. And this is real. Like, that's what I've come on here to blog about this morning, because I'm not saying that I'm never going to read fiction again. Fiction is amazing, and they like cause me to feel things, particularly fantasy, because you get to experience things that can't happen in real life. But Ice Station has just taken a nosedive for me, because I was wanting to read it about like ice and like sci-fi and stuff, but so far we've just been presented with one real life nation attacking another real life nation, and I'm like, there is enough of that happening in the world at the moment that I didn't need your story to take that direction. Like, why couldn't it have just been an exploration into, like, this metal that was in this 1,000-year-old frozen bit of ice, or 1,000,000-year-old? Why couldn't it have just been that? Why did you have to have, like, two different nations attacking each other when I can just read a historic book or someone's account? So that's what I've been feeling like this morning. I don't think I'm going to go back to Ice Station. I do want to read some kind of sci-fi thing. I really want to try Jurassic Park and Jaws as well, because Mum and I love watching Jaws. We love those kinds of things. Like, I don't know if they're sci-fi. I guess they kind of are, like we saw the Meg and stuff. But anyways, I'm going to go because I have not, like, I've been doing this for like an hour on, like, Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, and I haven't read, and I really want to, so I'm going to go. Thanks for watching. Did you notice little Koo down there as well? I just noticed him there. But I'll chat to you guys again next time. Based on the fact that this is like 9 minutes long, this clip, I'm probably just going to do like a weekly one this time. But that is good. I got thoughts, and I feel like they're not repetitive thoughts. So yay. Hey everyone, I'm going to do something fun while I give you my final thoughts. Well, not final thoughts, my final update for this weekly reading vlog on An Ordinary Man, the true story behind Hotel Rwanda. Now, I'm up to page 78 is when I'm finishing. I've been doing a lot of tabbing because I've really been enjoying it. Now, what I'm doing today, just move my stool out of the way, is this plant here has become very long, and it is going to keep on growing. So I'm actually putting in, which I might probably have to buy more before I'm done, a bunch of these little hooks, and I'm going to feed, like there's one if you can see it there, I'm going to feed it up and around these hooks. Some are going to be upside down to like keep it in, and I'm going to train it to grow all along my shelves. So far I'm still, all I want to do really is read this book lately, like that. And I've had my mum staying, which I love. So we've been hanging out. It's only Tuesday, it's only the second day. So I could honestly just say to her, I could honestly just say to her that I just want to read my book. So can I? And she would be totally fine with that. Main thought at the moment is it's a really humbling experience to be reading this book as a white person, because it seems like, I mean, I haven't read a lot of history books, but it seems like in particular, I don't even know if I've talked about this before, maybe, but like with this culture, Rwanda, I mean, you can't escape the fact that it was a Rwandan person attacking another Rwandan person. But the whole reason their racial hatred between each other got to the level that it did is because Belgium capitalised on the racial hatred between the two different nations, the Hutu and the Tutsi, I think I'm saying it right, and decided that would make an easy way for them to manage the people in the country. Look at that. And that kind of made me think about my own country, being Australia, and the fact that there was already an Indigenous culture here, but basically another white country coming over and deciding to colonise it, and that has caused so much pain that still goes on, and there is still racial hate, like, I don't know there's still racial issues going on between the different nationalities in Australia, particularly like a white Australian, English, German, like that kind of, I don't know what you would call this, but, and the Indigenous people, so the Aborigines and the Torres Strait Islanders. And that's shit. Like, it's just such a humbling experience reading all this history. I don't really want it to go across to the new, like, when it grows a bit more, I'll encourage it to come down here, because I don't want it, then I won't be able to separate the shelves. As it is now, if I take it off, I'm going to have to be like, feed, but
that's okay. It's been a really humbling experience to kind of think, where would the Rwandan people and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, where would these Indigenous nations be to this day if white people hadn't come in and tried to colonise, if European countries hadn't tried to do that? And like, I don't know how to fix it or anything like that. I don't want to give up like the land, like the house that I own. So I don't know how to go forth, but I know at least in like my country, our Prime Minister did a big speech a while back, and it's like, I don't think like an I'm sorry speech, but we haven't even like gotten together as a nation and decided to change Australia Day, which I understand, like celebrating the free and forward-thinking country that we are, even though it's still not perfect and has a lot of problems. I want to do that, but we're still celebrating it on the day that Captain Cook, which is the guy that discovered, but really the guy that kind of colonised Australia, we're still celebrating it on the day that he landed there. And then, of course, there was him and everybody that went after him did horrific things to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and we're still celebrating that like that was a good thing. And it's really sticky because obviously like everybody's lives that has happened, and like the free and open and multicultural country that Australia is like a good thing, that we're so like laid back and free and stuff, but at like what cost? And still continuing to celebrate on a day as if we're glad that we call, like, not we, but like that like our forefathers or, you know, whoever's are glad that they caused so much pain to the Indigenous people is still kind of shit. And so all they basically have been, you know, well, not all of them, but a lot of what they've been saying is, can we just change the day? Like, can we change it to a day that's not invasion day for us? It is not when another country has invaded or another nation has invaded our country. Can we please just change it to a day that we can all celebrate on? And for us, I don't think that's really hard for English people or for anybody to do. And like, we will still get a holiday, and it can cause a lot of pain to be spared, and to actually show the Indigenous people of our country that we're willing to do something to actually try and bridge this racial gap. So this is why I wanted to read non-fiction, because it's causing a lot of feelings and thoughts, and I'm so excited for the new year and to get my TBR down to be able to do all this. So I'm going to stop talking because but that was, you know, a lot of fun thoughts, but I don't know what to do with this one. I should also mention my audiobook as well. I'm listening to World War Z on audio at the recommendation of my sister Brooke. Oh, and I don't really like scary things, but the way that they're doing like the zombie thing is actually really interesting, and it's not so much like action-packed following one person. It's actually following a lot of different people, and it's like short stories talking about like how the government responded to the threat, and who kept secrets, and who wanted to expose what was happening, and so many different people they're interviewing and doing these little snippets for. So it's really fun, and I really recommend it. Two more hooks left. How great was that? So if you want to do the same thing, these are literally the hooks that I got. And on the back of the packet, it did say that you needed a drill, but I have not. I mean, these aren't very good quality wood, but it's been serving me so far. And I have needed a bit of strength to push them in, but first I've been pushing in with like just a normal pin, which kind of creates enough of a hole so that I've got some stability as I've like just twisted the screws in myself. It looks better up here because they're facing to the sun, so as this grows it'll look a bit better, and then maybe like
to thicken it up, I might loop it down there and do like cross them over each time. Cool, but I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to get going. This has been a long clip and I'm going to speed it up a bit. But thanks everybody so much for watching this weekly reading update. I don't know whether I'm going to do regular weekly ones, I'm not sure, but that's what I was feeling today and this week. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye!